So, I'm reading the third one, eh? And I tell you, after reading Old Man's War, and this is a different series, I can really tell there's a style difference. And of course, he did that on purpose. It's different characters; they're intense in a different way. But I mean, the style is, man, it's almost like he's enjoying redneckism language and behaviors. And but I can really tell that, he's changing as a person, John Scalzi. And I worry a little bit about him in this way. And I'm not going to waste my time and try to contact another famous sci-fi author because, I'm tired of being disappointed in idols, you know. But here's two paragraphs. And if he has a problem with this, he can contact me. Except that he'll have to try to not disappoint me if he does. Because you can really tell that he suffers from, although, I'm not finished. This is it's not even halfway through the book. And and it's possible that as an author, reading between the lines, I'll see that maybe he's coming to terms with the true human condition, with what's wrong with us. Because, he's describing a scenario of us in the future in a way where we are also dysfunctional up here, and we're also not talking about it, and we're also not working on it as a collective species, and we set up, these another galactic wide, I'm not saying all through the galaxy like in the Foundation series, but a very big people primate empire as a way to delay the inevitable that will always keep coming if we don't do the work up here. So he's not realizing that the technology that have spread through different planets, but really living on just one planet, the others are orbital stations, is, it's always going to be an evolutionary dead end until we engage in the first form of technology and master that, which is human thinking tools, human cognitive operating system, which is not that hard. You actually don't need math. You don't need... You just need to communicate in a language in an average way, but mostly a motivation to be there and an acceptance that, yeah, you belong to a species that does not undergo its own maturation process and therefore only needs a brain this big at this time for how it operates, including in this future sci-fi scenario. They don't need brains that big to act in these ways and to talk like this and to be like this in their relationships with each other. But I could still see that it's almost impressive for him to write these characters in this way when they're not human. They're subhuman, really, as they're dumb and they rationalize what they remain dumb about on purpose, and it's same old, same old. Anyways, here's two paragraphs that really show a lot. While the elite of the interdependency, and right away that's a proto-galactic empire that's going to collapse, right? It's called the interdependency. While the elite of the interdependency were making their plans to abandon the common people to their fate, the common people of the interdependency were beginning to come to grips with what exactly that fate actually was. Except that he's not going to confirm that. He's not going to prove himself right as the narrator in the rest of the story, I predict. Because he's talking about a collective species, okay? And if he does, he has to write the story as if the majority of this species that he says is smart, or as smart as the elites that are screwing everything up, when the elites are really the norm, just like the majority. Well, we'll see. I could read a lot of this as the doctor of humanics and a professor of socio-cybernetics. It should be noted that the common people of the interdependency were not fools. I disagree. They were arguably the most educated and materially comfortable common people ever to live. Okay, so not fools because they were educated, and I don't know what they're educated in, but it's not human thinking tools, and materially comfortable common people ever to live. So what's the link between nut fools and materially comfortable common people? I don't know. In any human civilization, that's his words, human. I don't agree. Going back to when the first human decided hoofing themselves across the African landscape was a pain in the ass and decided to stay in one place instead. So that's, that's his parameters for judging intelligence right there. Is hardships, let's say in the past, where there could have been a more stable society back then, for example, but hardships is something to get away from, and getting away from hardships as a majority, where things are set up and they last a long time, doesn't make you smarter. Like, it doesn't make you able to fix things that break down, because just like in the Foundation series, he's saying less and less people in these habitats that'll become isolated in this interdependency because they're not self-reliant, will be able to fix these things that break down, that they need to survive, because right outside that wall is the vacuum of space. So, this is obvious stuff. Because we have technology, we assume we're smart, while we never live in ways that shows we know how to get along and therefore manifest a real civilization, not proto-civilizations. Anyways, John Scalzi is in the States, and he suffers from whatever ethnocentrism there is there as well, and anthropocentrism, and probably a lot of other stuff, especially when his fame and fortune builds. Except it's possible that, like a lot of famous authors, will end his life more in debt than in a comfortable retirement. So I'm watching the news now, and it's not even the human condition. I'm just starting. And the patterns are very simple for me, that when there's more insecurities, even people that are elites that benefit from war, let's say, that convince others we need more tanks here or weapons there or investment in this, as if that was the only thing happening in the world right now. I think a lot of them actually believe that's true. They're dumb enough to say, "Oh my God, I've been poisoned! Hurry, I need more poison!" Like it's that dumb. And this theme of dumbness about what causes the Anthropocene, and now being accelerated, and that includes competition, espionage within the scientific paradigms. Like, if you guys think you're human, or you have sentience and sapience, I feel so much pity. It's so sad being around you. I'm sorry I'm reporting more accurately about the human condition this year, but don't worry, I'll be shutting down my channel by removing a lot of videos along the year, so you won't have to see yourselves in the mirror that much. The Doctor of Humanics could have helped, and because you won't let him, I'll just kind of semi-retire with all the skill sets I've developed, where the hardships that are coming aren't going to be as hard for me as they will be for you.